Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good day to all of you. So, guys, last week we have go through the information and lecture regarding air handling unit, fan coil unit, and some basic about the ducting. So now we are going to look into the ductwork maintenance and servicing. So if any personnel that they are doing the maintenance, so there must be the inspection checklist, schedule and log service for their annual servicing for their ducting. So actually the checklist, schedule and log are important to make sure uh, the and to give the information to the next inspector which unfamiliar to the building and HVAC system of the building. So basically and usually only the personnel that are doing the maintenance from the testing and commissioning are familiar about the building, but the facility personnel will be only do and only familiar about the building after they are setting up to do so in that particular building. So the ductwork maintenance must be updated annually at least. So and the checklist schedule and log also must be monitored and to be put under document control center. So actually all document regarding the maintenance of their building and facilities must be put in one center, which is document control center, to make sure easily can access by anybody which are required to do so. So this is the example, a short form, a very short form on the maintenance checklist for the issue. So as you can see, there must be air handling unit. They must looking first. They must look into the outdoor air intake, mixing plenum and dampers, either it is in good condition or not, and the fan before they are going to check into the ducting. So they must put the building name, the address which the building located, and must be specifically the zone or area that are supplied by the AHU. So they must be completed by who personnel that are involved with the servicing. So must be stamped there because usually the ducting maintenance will be done by a very competent person. So when is the maintenance take on the file number, everything. So they must be put on there. So the next one, they will look into the mechanical room. This is the checklist, quite simple also, the checklist for HVAC maintenance. So maybe you can apply when you are doing the facility maintenance afterwards. So for example, the mechanical room, either the mechanical room will usually involve all any equipment in for mechanical devices. For example, air conditioning also we can say it is mechanical. So either it is in clean condition or dry condition. Usually several mechanical room they are in wet condition. There are leakage of water there maybe. So either it is the mechanical room store any refuse chemical inside there, because if any of chemical put there, if there are any leakage, they will uh, vaporize and maybe will influence the other room that are supplied with the air issue from that mechanical room. So you must describe any item that need of attention in that particular room. So the next one, the major mechanical equipment there. For example, the air issue maybe. So what is the control system there? What is the type, the system operation, and the last calibration for that devices. Next one, they are going to the cooling tower. For example, either the cooling tower is clean or not. Uh, if that cooling tower is not clean, when is the last date that they are doing the cleaning process for the cooling tower? Either the cooling tower is having any leak or overflow. Overflow maybe the makeup water tank supply too much of water there. Is there any slime or algae that growth in the uh, cooling tower? I believe that during the visit to the factory campus technology chiller plant room, we have done the visit to the cooling tower at the rooftop, and then the eliminator performance, how about that, and then the treatment working or not, the biocide treatment, and then is there any spill contaminant plant implemented there. There are also chillers. We have to look into the refrigerant, either it is leak or not. Is there any evidence of condensation problem? If there is condensation problem, so that means there is something wrong with your chiller. And then is there any waste oil? Waste oil means the chiller oil or refrigerant properly stored and disposed at the chiller plant room. And then you have to look into the air handling unit. The first one, you have to look into the unit identification. So we have to know what is the unit number, what is the area that's served by the AHU, for example. The next one, for the air handling unit, there are several other things that we must be looking into. For example, the outdoor, which is the fresh air intake, and the mixing plenum and the dampers. For example, for the outdoor, you must identify where is the location for outdoor air intake location, which is the fresh air, and then identify is there any nearby contaminant sources. If there any contaminant sources, for example, located nearly to the fresh air intake, for example, our air conditioning system is centralized, so it will contaminate our indoor air quality also. So the bird screen in place or unobstructed, for example, the bird screen, you have to make sure the bird screen must be located and must be in good condition. We are afraid of any bird that are coming into our ducting system and our fresh air system. So the design total CFM for the AHU, how much, and usually we'll be using balometer. The design total CFM, usually we are using the airflow meter to calculate the CFM, cubic feet per minute, and then we have the outdoor air, how much the CFM coming into the air handling unit, and then we have to make sure when is the date last tested and balanced, minimum percent of outdoor air intake, so we have to make sure the damper are setting well, and then the minimum CFM for outdoor air, how many the minimum CFM that are coming to the AHU, so also must be looking into the damper setting, and then the current outdoor air damper setting, and then when is the date, time, and HVAC operation mode there. So the damper control sequence, you have to know how the damper control sequence, and then the condition of damper and control, is it in good condition or broken. So you have to look into that particular things. So on the fan also, for the air handling unit, you have to identify what is the control sequence, either it is forward or backward curve. So you have to know the condition and make sure you note the date when is the last check for the fan, and then you have to indicate either the temperature, supply air, mixed air, return air, and you have to measure the temperature there, and then how much the actual temperature for that particular area of the supply by the fan. So next one is coil. So we have to look into the temperature of the coil. For example, the heating fluid discharge temperature, we have to measure the delta T on coil and off coil before, which is before and after the coil. Same goes to the cooling coil, cooling fluid discharge temperature. We have to look into the on coil and off coil temperature, which is the delta T there, and then we have to look into the control of the coil and the condition of the coil. Some of the coil, for example, maybe the AHU and the cooling coil is too old, so sometimes the coil is already broke. So next one is the humidifier. So if the humidifier is not good condition, so usually our air conditioning system will have too much moist and we cannot achieve the correct relative humidity that we want. So we have to check the first one, the type, the biocide type, the condition, either it is no overflow, drain trap, or any nozzle, and make sure all nozzles are working in that humidifier. And we have to check also any slime, visible growth, and mineral deposit. So if, for example, any alga or slime that growth in that particular humidifier, that means the humidifier is not good condition in absorbing the moisture.